Welcome to Jam Packed, Business Made Easy with AI. My name is Robin Anderson, and I'm the CEO of Jam AI. At Jam AI, we have a community where we are training thousands of small business owners every week on how to use applicable and everyday AI. In this podcast, we're focusing on the human side of AI. We're interviewing members of our community and understanding how they're using AI to save more time and make more money. We also practice what we preach. Every Monday, we're generating a podcast from our AI agent. You're going to love it. We have way too much content and not enough time to record, so it's helping us get this information to you. Well, buckle up, take some notes, and listen to what we're about to tell you. And if you want to know more, you can join us free for 7 days in Club Jam by going to jamout.ai for more information.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are really glad to have you here with us today because we're tackling something that I think is going to resonate with literally everyone listening.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we are unpacking a guide titled From Chaos to Leverage, Building AI Business Systems.
It's a title that really captures the moment we're in, doesn't it?
It really does. And before we even get into the nuts and bolts of the guide, I want to talk about the feeling that this text addresses. It's that, that specific modern type of anxiety you get when you open your laptop or you check LinkedIn and you see 50 new tools, 3 new strategies, and a dozen people claiming they've made $1 million overnight.
Right.
It's that feeling of, man, I am falling behind and I will never, ever catch up.
Yeah, it's the Red Queen effect from Alice in Wonderland. You're running twice as fast just to stay in the exact same place.
Yeah.
And the source material we're covering today argues that this speed, this technological velocity, it isn't neutral.
Right.
It creates a binary outcome.
And this is the core thesis, really. Technology is either going to crush you with noise and risk and overwhelm, which the author calls chaos, or if you position yourself correctly, it's going to give you superpowers.
Leverage.
It creates leverage, exactly.
And what's refreshing about this specific guide is that it doesn't just yell at you to buy more AI tools or learn to prompt better.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Right. In fact, it argues the opposite. It suggests that the feeling of overwhelm comes from the tools themselves. So the solution isn't more tools. The solution is structural. It's about building a survival framework.
A survival framework.
Right.
And the text breaks this down into 3 pillars. We've got protection, automation, and intentional design.
Yeah.
But before we get into the how of those, I want to linger on the why for a second.
Sure.
The author uses this term, a Mellis-style emotional hook. It feels like the guide is trying to shake the listener a little bit. Why start with fear? I mean, why not just jump straight to the productivity hacks?
Well, because the landscape has fundamentally changed, and pretending it hasn't is just dangerous.
Right.
We aren't just dealing with productivity apps or, email helpers anymore.
Right.
We're living in an ecosystem of sophisticated scams, AI-generated fake content, and platforms that change their algorithms every week just to throttle your reach. The chaos isn't just in your head, it's in the environment.
So the mission of this deep dive isn't to scare people for the sake of it.
No, the goal, and the guide is very specific about this, is to prepare you. We want to move from a state of being overwhelmed to a state of being automated.
Prepare, don't scare. I like that a lot. So if we're going to build this system, we have to start with the foundation. The first pillar is protection. And I have to be honest with you, usually when I see cybersecurity as the first step in a business guide, my brain just wants to skip ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like eating vegetables. I want to get to dessert.
It is absolutely the broccoli of business. Nobody wants to talk about it until they get sick. But the source offers a reframe here that I think is brilliant, and it might just change how you look at your passwords forever. The guide argues that cybersecurity is no longer an IT problem.
Okay.
It is a revenue problem.
Wow. That is a heavy statement.
Yeah.
A revenue problem. How does the guide justify that shift?
Think about your digital assets, your social media handle, your email list, your client database. In the traditional economy, if you owned a bakery, you put a lock on the door to protect the ovens and the cash register.
Makes sense.
Right. But in the digital economy, your oven is your distribution channel. If you lose access to your Instagram account because of a phishing attack, you haven't just lost a password.
You've lost your ability to speak to your customers.
Exactly. You're essentially shut down.
The open sign is turned off and you literally can't turn it back on.
You are out of business. And the source highlights that we are seeing a massive rise in sophisticated scams. This isn't the old Prince of Nigeria email with bad grammar that we all joke about.
Right.
We are talking about pixel-perfect impersonations of your brand.
That's the part that really stood out to me in the reading. The idea that someone could use AI to clone your profile, mimic your tone of voice, and just start messaging your clients or your audience.
Precisely. They steal your trust. And in the creator economy, or for any small business, really, trust is the currency. If a scammer burns your audience by selling them a fake product in your name, you can't just hit reset password on your reputation.
Oh man, yeah.
That damage is permanent. That's why the guide insists that digital literacy is the new business literacy.
So you really cannot call yourself a competent business owner in this era if you are leaving the back door wide open.
You just can't. It's like leaving the bakery door unlocked and the safe open and then wondering why you aren't making a profit.
Okay, you have sold me on the stakes. The house is potentially on fire. How do we put it out? The guide lists some very specific value-add steps. What are the absolute non-negotiables here?
The first one is low-hanging fruit, but statistically, most people still ignore it. Update your passwords. But more importantly, turn on 2FA.
Two-factor authentication.
Yes. Turn it on everywhere.
I feel like everyone knows this. We hear it all the time, but nobody actually does it. Why is that?
Because it's friction. It's annoying. You want to log in, and you have to wait for the text message or check the authenticator app. It takes 5 seconds. But the guide is very clear that 5 seconds of friction is the difference between keeping your business and losing it.
Right.
If you are listening to this right now and you don't have 2FA on your primary email and your social accounts, you are statistically a sitting duck.
Okay, point taken. Pause the deep dive, turn on 2FA, then come back.
Yeah.
What is the next step?
This one is a bit more nuanced, and people often forget it. Audit your admin access.
Audit admin access. What does that actually look like in practice?
It's what I call the ghost in the machine problem. Say you hired a freelancer 2 years ago to help with Facebook ads, or you fired an agency last year, or you had an intern back in 2019. Do they still have admin access to your accounts?
Oh, wow. I bet for most people the answer is I have no idea, which usually means yes, they do.
Exactly. And that is a massive vulnerability, not even necessarily out of malice. Maybe that intern gets hacked, and because they are still an admin on your page, now you are hacked.
It's wild.
The guide suggests a quarterly audit. Go into your settings, look at the users and permissions, and ruthlessly remove anyone who doesn't need to be there right now. It's just good digital hygiene.
And the final point under protection was about brand identity, right?
Right. This goes back to the impersonation threat. You need to verify your accounts where possible and actively monitor for lookalikes. It's about being proactive. You are the guardian of your business identity. If you don't protect it, the chaos of the internet will erode it.
So step one is stop the bleeding. Secure the perimeter. Once we aren't worried about being hacked, we can move to the second pillar, which is where things get really exciting. Automation.
Yes, this is the shift from defense to offense. This is where we start getting some time back.
The guide makes a distinction here that I think is crucial for anyone worried about AI. It says AI isn't here to replace jobs. It's here to replace unnecessary friction.
That is a vital reframe. There is so much anxiety about AI taking my job, but the source argues that what AI is actually coming for is the drudgery, the repetitive, soul-sucking tasks that keep you from doing the high-value work.
It separates the zone of competence from the zone of genius.
Precisely.
To illustrate this, the text gives us this great case study of a guy named David Farr. And I love this story because David isn't presented as some heavy-hitter tech billionaire. He's just a regular guy running a business.
He is, and his problem was so relatable. He had technical needs, updates to his website, specific integrations, things that needed coding, and his solution was the traditional one. He outsourced it. He hired developers.
Which is what we are all told to do, right?
Yeah.
Delegate, delegate, delegate. If you aren't an expert, hire one.
Right. But delegation has a cost, not just money, but time. We call it the management tax. You have to explain the task, wait for the result, check the work, ask for revisions, realize they misunderstood you, explain it again. It's slow. David realized that these weren't creative tasks, they were logic tasks.
So what did he do differently?
He stopped being intimidated by the black box of coding. He used AI tools to write the code for him. He literally built his own plugins.
That sounds terrifying to a non-technical person. Just build your own plugin. It sounds like saying just build your own car.
But that's the leverage. He didn't sit down and learn C++ from scratch. He learned how to prompt the AI to write the C++. The result was that he saved thousands of dollars in outsourcing fees. But more importantly, he collapsed the timeline. What used to take 2 weeks of back-and-forth emails now took him an afternoon.
So he removed the dependency on other people for the basic plumbing of his business.
Correct. He moved from chaos managing a team of freelancers for minor tasks to leverage, where the software just does it immediately. And this connects to a broader concept the text mentions called Club Jam.
Club Jam. It sounds like a music genre, but in this context, it refers to the marketplace, right?
It does. It refers to the noisy, crowded, sweaty marketplace we are all competing in. Everyone is shouting. The observation in the text is that the businesses winning in this Club Jam environment aren't necessarily the ones with the most brilliant creative founders. They are the ones who are systematizing first.
Systematizing first. Unpack that for us.
Most people hustle first. They throw effort at the problem. They write the emails manually. They post to Instagram manually. They copy-paste data from one spreadsheet to another manually. They think effort equals value. The systematized first mindset asks a different question. How can I build a machine to do this for me?
It's the difference between carrying buckets of water back and forth from the river and taking a week off to build a pipeline.
That is the perfect analogy. The bucket carrier is working harder today, but the pipeline builder wins forever. The text mentions a tool called repurpose.io as a prime example of this pipeline building.
I've seen this tool mentioned. It's primarily for social media, right?
Yes. Think about the friction of being a content creator or a business trying to market itself. You make a video for TikTok. Now, traditionally, you need to download it without the watermark, which is a pain, then upload it to YouTube Shorts, write a description, upload it to Instagram Reels, upload it to LinkedIn. That is hours of unnecessary friction.
It's purely administrative work. It adds no creative value.
Exactly. Repurpose.io is the pipeline. You post once, and the system automatically reformats and pushes that content to every other platform. You clone yourself.
So if you save 5 hours a week doing that, that's 20 hours a month. That is half a work week saved just by installing one piece of plumbing.
And that brings us to the concept of manus skills.
Manus skills. I'm assuming this comes from the Latin for hand.
Yes. The text uses it to describe those tasks that require your hands, your direct manual intervention. The guide argues you need to aggressively identify these. What are you doing with your hands every week that a machine could do?
This requires a bit of an ego check, doesn't it? Because sometimes we actually like the manual work. It makes us feel busy. It makes us feel productive.
It feels like productivity, but it's actually procrastination. It's productive procrastination. The guide is very firm on this. Scale follows systems. You cannot scale chaos. If your business relies on you manually touching every transaction or every post, you hit a ceiling. You burn out. Automation is the only way to break through that ceiling.
So the advice is, before you try to launch a new product or grow your audience, look at your weekly routine. Identify the repeat work and automate that first.
Fix the foundation. Don't build a skyscraper on a swamp.
Okay, so we've secured the perimeter with protection. We built a pipeline to handle the drudgery with automation. Now we arrive at the third pillar. And this feels like the most philosophical part of the deep dive, intentional business design.
This is where we stop talking about tools, the widgets and the plugins, and start talking about architecture. The guide draws heavily here on Mel's Stanford life design concept.
Right, for listeners who aren't familiar, life design is a popular course at Stanford that applies design thinking. So prototyping, testing, iterating, applying all that to building a career. It treats your life like a product design challenge.
Right. And the guide argues we need to apply that same rigorous design thinking to our business models. Because usually people ask the wrong question when they think about the future.
What's the wrong question?
The wrong question is, what should I do next?
That feels like a very natural question, honestly.
Yeah.
I ask myself that every Monday morning.
It is natural, but it's reactive. It assumes you are on a fixed track and you just need to take the next logical step. Oh, a new AI tool came out. I should use it. Oh, my competitor launched a podcast. I should launch one. You are letting the external environment dictate your actions. You are a leaf in the wind.
So what is the right question?
The right question is, what version of my business do I want to build?
What version? That implies there are multiple options. It implies choice.
Exactly. It treats your business not as a destiny, but as a prototype. The source argues that AI is the ultimate design tool because it lowers the cost of prototyping to almost zero.
Can you give me a concrete example of this? How do you prototype a business with AI?
Sure. Let's say you are a consultant. You trade hours for dollars. In the old world, if you wanted to pivot to selling a scalable course, that was a massive risk. You had to write the curriculum, film the videos, build the website, write the sales copy. You might spend 6 months and $10,000 just to see if anyone wanted it.
High sunk cost. If it fails, you are devastated.
Huge sunk cost. Now, You can use AI to outline the curriculum, draft the sales copy, generate the landing page images, and even build a basic framework in a weekend. You can try on that business model. You can put it out there and see if it gets traction. If it doesn't, you scrap and try a different version. You haven't lost 6 months, you've lost a Saturday.
So you can effectively run A/B tests on your entire career path.
Yes. The text contrasts different models you might test. Do you want to build an agency? That means high revenue, but high headcount and high stress. Or do you want a systems-based business? Lower headcount, high margin, high freedom. Or do you want a product business?
I think a lot of people fall into the agency model by accident. They just keep saying yes to clients until they are drowning in work and suddenly they have 10 employees and no life.
That is chaotic growth. It's growth without design. You end up with a business that runs you. The intentional design pillar says, stop, step back. Look at the menu of options. AI gives you the leverage to build any of them. Which one fits your life?
It's about options versus a single path.
It is. And the aha moment the guide drives toward is that you don't have to follow the traditional path. Just because everyone is doing short-form video doesn't mean you have to. You can design a business that relies on long-form writing and use AI to handle the distribution. You can design a business that requires 0 meetings.
That is incredibly empowering. It takes AI from being this scary Terminator force that forces us to work faster and turns it into, well, a magic wand for architects.
It's a force multiplier for intention. I love this line from our notes on the source. If you don't have intention, AI will just multiply your chaos.
Ooh. Say that again. That needs to be on a sticky note.
If you don't have intention, AI will just multiply your chaos. If you have a broken process and you add AI to it, you just get a faster broken process. You create spam at scale, you annoy customers at scale.
But if you have intention,
then it multiplies your leverage. It allows one person to do the work of 10, but only if that one person knows exactly where they are going.
this really ties the whole guide together. Protection keeps you safe so you don't lose the game. Automation buys you time so you can play the game. And design is choosing which game you actually want to play.
Exactly. You use the time you save from automation to think about the design.
So let's bring this down to the ground level. We've covered a lot of theory. We started with the fear of the Red Queen, and we're ending on designing our dream business. If we had to give our listener, the learner, who is ready to act 3 concrete things to do when they finish this deep dive, what are they?
Okay, let's recap the pillars. Takeaway number 1 is protect. You need to treat your digital security as a core business function. It's not optional. Go update those passwords, turn on 2FA on every single account, and audit your admin access. Close the back door so you can sleep at night.
Simple, actionable, critical. What's number 2?
Takeaway number 2 is automate. But specifically, I want you to adopt system thinking over hustle culture. Look at your last week of work. Identify the tasks you did more than 3 times that required your Manus skills, your hands. Don't just do them faster next week. Find a tool like repurpose.io or a custom GPT to take them off your plate entirely. Remember, scale follows systems.
Stop rowing, start sailing. And number 3,
Takeaway number 3 is design. Stop asking what should I do next and start asking what version of this business do I want. Use AI to prototype different futures. Don't let the market dictate your model.
that framework really takes the anxiety out of the equation. It turns the noise into a toolkit.
It puts you back in the driver's seat. And that's really the goal here. It's about agency.
You know, as we wrap up, I'm thinking about that initial feeling of overwhelm we talked about, the chaos.
It's deafening sometimes.
But looking at it through this lens, the chaos is really just raw material. It's a pile of bricks. You can let the bricks fall on your head and bury you, or you can pick them up and build a house.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And there is one final, somewhat provocative thought from the source material that I think we should leave the listener with.
Let's hear it.
There's a common belief right now that the people who will win in the AI era are the prompt engineers, the people who know the latest Mid-Journey codes, the ones who spend all day on Twitter finding the newest tools.
That certainly feels like the prevailing wisdom right now. Learn the tools or die.
The source disagrees. It suggests that is an illusion. The real winners won't be the ones who master every single tool. Tools change too fast. The winners will be the ones who build smarter foundations, the ones who can look at the chaos, identify the leverage points, and build a system that endures regardless of which app is trendy this week.
It's not about the tool, it's about the architecture.
Precisely. You can hire someone to do the prompting. You can't hire someone to do the vision.
That is something to chew on. So, for everyone listening, here is your challenge for the week. Stop running on autopilot. Stop reacting to the notification bell. Take an hour to look at your foundations. Are you protected? Are you automated? And are you designing the future you actually want, or just the one that's happening to you?
Because if you don't design it, someone or something else will.
On that note, thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.